If you're like me and live in the real world, you're probably in a pretty good mood right now after hearing the good news. 128,000 new jobs in October despite striking GM workers, way more than what was expected. Fantastic news for the economy, more jobs than we expect. You know, we got wage growth, we got a stock market. Well, the stock market's in trouble because of impeachment. And there it is. Well, the Daily Mail says that Donald Trump takes a victory lap. If you're somebody who watches MSNBC, you probably think everything is miserable and the world is ending. If you're someone who supports the Democrats' impeachment, you probably don't care that the market took a little downturn. Might not have anything to do with the impeachment, but probably does. It's like 150 points the other day or something. You might not care. Well, here's the thing. Regular Americans care the economy is doing well. And I would be willing to bet most Americans don't care about politics. Case in point, Joe Biden. Okay, I want to read you this story about the economy, but let me just give you this. A viral video recently sent out by some Trump supporters of Joe Biden saying that he was going to reinstate the Paris Peace Accords on day one. The Paris Peace Accords from 1973 having to do with Vietnam or something like that? Joe Biden, as they say, is not playing with a full deck of cards. Where does it leave us? Well, it leaves most of us, like the people who watch, you guys watch me, we see the news, I use verified sources, and we see the economy is doing great. It's really, really well. Moody's Analytics, 3 forecasts, all economic. Trump's going to win. So you know what's really happening. Now, regular people are probably experiencing this. Not everybody. You'll probably hear anecdotes every so often of somebody who lost their job, but most people, they're going to see their paychecks go up a little bit. They're going to see their taxes go down a little bit. They've got jobs, they're working, they're happy. Don't rock the boat. What happens if you're, I don't know, say a resistance member who's screeching impeachment even though it hurts the market and watching MSNBC? I love this source. I'm never going to put it away. Watch Fox News. You likely think U.S. economy is great, and it is. MSNBC viewers, not so much. And this brings me to the big point I want to get to. Well, I'll read this first, but I want to talk to you about we live in reality. It's not conservative. It's reality. Remember when Colbert said something about reality as a liberal bias? Sorry, buddy, that was a long time ago. You then started watching Rachel Maddow screech about the Russians, and I don't know where you've been for the past 3 years, but just because I live in the real world where the economy is doing really, really well, and we just added 128,000 jobs, does not mean I or anyone else is conservative. But I'll tell you what, there are many individuals who know this because we read, we pay attention, who don't agree policy-wise with Republicans. There's a lot of people like this, and I'm not going to go through the list, but you know who I'm talking about on Twitter and YouTube. The people they try to smear as conservative who are really liberals, and it's a lot of people. It really is. You know, if when I did a political compass test, turns out many of the people who follow me and watch these videos, they were on the left. I always find it funny when someone's shocked. They think they're a conservative, but listen, just because you know what's actually happening in the world doesn't affect your policy decisions, your policy positions. Well, let's read the news about this booming economy. Donald Trump boasted about his jobs record Friday, calling new economic figures a blowout. USA rocks, he tweeted, after the Labor Department's October jobs numbers were published showing 128,000 new jobs were created last month. That's amazing. They show that U.S. job growth slowed less than expected in October as the drag from a strike at General Motors was offset by gains elsewhere. That is amazing. While hiring in the prior 2 months was stronger than previously estimated, offering assurance that consumers would continue to prop up the slowing economy for a while. The Labor Department's closely watched monthly employment report on Friday came on the heels of data this week showing a further slowdown in economic growth in the third quarter as trade tensions induced slump in business investment deepened. The Federal Reserve cut interest rates on Wednesday for the third time this year, but signaled a pause in the easing cycle that started in July when it reduced borrowing costs for the first time since '08. Non-farm payrolls increased by 120,000 jobs last month, with manufacturing shedding 36,000 positions. So that's kind of bad, but for the most part, it's a big net gain. It's the most since October 2009, the government survey of establishments showed. Let me just say something for you. The most since, it's lost jobs, right? Manufacturing is doing bad. But what I want to say is, we are seeing this story, okay, about more jobs than we expected has happened over and over and over again. How many leftist publications are going to run with this and say, hey, you know, Trump's right. The economy is doing really well. Whatever it is, it's working. Very few. And that's the thing. The shock content required. It can't work in this way, right? The Trump bump doesn't work when Trump does well. And this is what you need to understand. If you really, my advice to you in trusting media would be somebody who's going to tell you that sometimes there's a good thing, sometimes there's a bad thing. But when all you get from CNN is everything Trump has done is bad, well, you're probably being lied to or misled. And that brings me to this next article. This is the paranoid, delusional state that the resistance people live in. I'm sorry, the economy is doing well by so many different metrics. But the people who watch MSNBC don't know that. Now, I haven't actually read this yet. I've cited it several times in many videos. But what's interesting is Reuters can't definitively make the claim. And I wonder why not. Reuters, can't you just say it turns out the economy is doing really, really well? The strangest thing to me is when I talk to some of my left-wing friends and they're talking about how bad the economy is. And I'm like, what are you talking about? We had what was it, back in January, we added 300,000 jobs and it was almost double what was expected or some ridiculous number. Now, what were they expecting? They're expecting 95 or something. They say the economy created 95,000 more jobs in August and September than previous economists polled by Reuters had forecast payrolls rising by only 89,000 jobs in October. So what? We're about 30,000 or so more jobs than expected, a quarter or so. And they think the economy is bad. And it makes you wonder, where are they? What are they doing? It turns out many of my friends who think this actually have jobs. They're assuming that middle America is suffering. They're assuming Trump supporters are all really dumb. And they're assuming that even though all of these bad things are happening, Trump supporters are convinced everything's better than it is. In reality, while we did lose manufacturing jobs, and that is bad for a lot of those Trump voters, there are more jobs. And if you're working in an urban center, those jobs are in those rural areas, right? So Trump's base is bigger. With all of these scandals, Trump's approval rating is still higher than what it was, a couple of years ago. And no, this is not me defending Trump. This is where it gets crazy. We live in reality. You're watching this video. We're looking at the news. They got the numbers. It's a fact. We live in reality. It means nothing about whether or not I agree with Trump on his foreign policy decisions, on his demeanor, on his character, etc. Of course not. It just means it is a fact that the economy is doing well, period. Why would MSNBC try and tell you otherwise? Why would they run stories to convince you it's not the case? I honestly don't know. I really don't know. How does it help anyone? I think it's actually quite simple. I do. I can say I don't know, but I'll give you my opinion. The Trump bump only works when you insult Trump. Me doing a story about Trump, I don't make videos where I'm like the orange man is bad every day. Some people do. And you can look at the numbers. It works. Everybody's known it's worked. That's why CNN won't shut up. CNN knows that Trump is the story. And that's why we've seen the leaks from Veritas where that's what they want you to focus on. At least CNN, I'll give them this. It was last year, I think. They did a very positive segment when the economy, I think it was actually maybe January. They were like, wow, the economy is doing really, really great. So let me break this down for you. MSNBC viewers, you don't have to like Trump. You can despise the man. But you can also accept the facts. I have no problem saying that Trump's Saudi Arabia stuff, the Syria stuff, Trump was weak on Syria. He wanted to pull out. I can respect that, but then he didn't. And now they're going to go guard the oil. It's been a disaster across the board. There's a lot of problems with it. Whatever. But I can criticize this stuff, okay? I have no problem. None whatsoever. Troops in Saudi Arabia, bad idea. Now, when it comes to domestic policy, I don't know. I can't tell you. I have no reason to pretend like I'm shocked about the trade war. I have no reason to pretend that Trump imposing tariffs is going to be good or bad. That's what people are doing. They're saying, oh no, you don't know anything about trade or the economy. You have no idea what's going to happen with the trade war. Okay, so look, we can talk about bad investments. They've mentioned that. I'll accept the fact. We can talk about how farmers are being subsidized. Absolutely will accept that. The economy is still better overall. Imagine somebody builds this big, beautiful castle and you finally have this great place to live and all they do is take a magnifying glass to all the problems saying, nope, it's bad. Look, it's like, I get it, dude. Nothing's going to be perfect. I don't know whether or not Trump's domestic policies are going to work or not, but hey, the economy is doing really, really well. But that's probably it. Because when you get regular people to start acknowledging that things are better for them, that's when they're going to say, I don't care about what Trump says or does. Case in point, Joe Biden. Joe Biden can say the craziest things in the world, have no idea what he's talking about. He's still the front runner in like national polls in the aggregate. How? Unless regular voters don't care. And that's the point. They'll mislead you. And here we can see it. It's a fact. So, hey, look, when I win, I win. When I lose, I lose. If what he did works, I don't care. Congratulations. The economy's great. I'm happy people are happy. I'm happy people have jobs. I still think the guy's got character problems. I still think he has bad foreign policy. And I think he's done some good foreign policy things. And I think he's won this one. So take your victory lap. Right on. You know, I did a thing with Sam Cedar a couple weeks ago. And I really hate how everyone's like, haha, you were wrong. Like my thing, when I'm wrong, Sam said something about impeachment. And I was like, which poll are you citing? Poll the aggregate. I was like, oh, you're right. The aggregate does show impeachment was at 52%. And then he was like, see, and I'm like, okay, like, I don't think I'm the smartest person in the world. I have literally no problem being like, oh, yeah, you were right about that. That's what we need more of. Look, the orange man can be bad all day and night for a lot of reasons, but you can't deny that the economy is doing well. There you go. Take a victory lap, whatever. You get the point. I'm done. But I do want to segue now into what the Democrats are offering. That's the next video. Because the Democrats are offering, at least Elizabeth Warren, to, take away 2 million jobs. I'm not kidding. Stick around. Next segment's coming up in a few minutes, and I will see you all shortly.